Right now, in this very moment, something extraordinary is unfolding in your life. You might not see it yet with your physical eyes, but in the invisible world where all creation begins, your miracle is already taking shape. The universe is conspiring on your behalf, arranging circumstances, moving people, and opening doors that you didn't even know existed. And all of this is happening because God knows the deepest desires of your heart. You see, there's something you need to understand about how this magnificent universe works. Your desires didn't just randomly appear in your heart. They were placed there by the same divine intelligence that creates galaxies, that turns acorns into oak trees, that knows exactly how many beats your heart needs to make today. When you feel that pull towards something greater, when you sense that longing for change, for healing, for abundance, for love, that's not just wishful thinking. That's the universe speaking to you through your own yearning. Many of you have been waiting for so long. You've been patient. You've been praying. You've been working hard and doing everything you know how to do, and yet the breakthrough hasn't come. You're starting to wonder if it ever will. You're beginning to question whether you're worthy, whether you deserve what you're asking for, whether maybe you should just settle for less than what your heart truly wants. But here's what I need you to understand. The delay is not a denial. The waiting period is not punishment. It's preparation. Think about how nature works. Before the apple appears on the tree, there's a whole process happening that you cannot see. The roots are drawing nutrients from the soil. The trunk is strengthening. The branches are extending. The tree is photosynthesizing sunlight into energy. All of this invisible work is absolutely necessary before that fruit can manifest. And nobody stands in front of an apple tree in March, shaking their fist at it, demanding to know why there aren't any apples yet. We understand that there's a season for everything, a timing that's perfect and natural. Your life works the same way. While you've been waiting, while you've been in what seems like a dormant period, incredible things have been happening beneath the surface. You've been growing stronger. You've been developing qualities you didn't have before: patience, faith, resilience, compassion. You've been becoming the person who's ready to receive the miracle that's coming. Because here's the truth that most people miss. If you had received what you wanted when you first wanted it, you might not have been ready for it. You might not have had the wisdom to handle it, the maturity to sustain it, the character to appreciate it. God has perfect timing. The universe has perfect timing. And right now, at this very moment, everything is aligning for you. The people you need to meet are being moved into position. The opportunities that will change everything are being prepared. The healing you've been praying for is already on its way. The abundance you've been seeking is flowing toward you like a river that's been building upstream, getting ready to rush into your life with a force that will sweep away every obstacle. But here's what you must do. You must align yourself with this incoming miracle. You cannot be vibrating at the frequency of doubt and expect to receive what requires faith. You cannot be resonating with lack and limitation and expect abundance to find you. You cannot be holding on to bitterness and resentment and expect love to flow freely into your life. The universe responds to the energy you're putting out. It's like a mirror reflecting back to you exactly what you're broadcasting. So many people sabotage their own miracles by the way they think and speak. They say things like, "Nothing ever works out for me. I never get a break. I'm just unlucky. Good things happen to other people, but not to me." And every time they speak those words, they're sending out an order to the universe. They're literally instructing creative intelligence to give them more experiences of lack, more situations where things don't work out, more evidence to support their belief that they're unlucky. But you can change this right now. You can shift your entire reality by shifting your thoughts. You can start speaking words of faith instead of words of fear. You can begin to see yourself as blessed instead of cursed, as chosen instead of forgotten, as worthy instead of inadequate. And when you make this shift, when you truly align your inner world with the miracle you're seeking, the outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match. Let me tell you something powerful. God didn't create you to struggle endlessly. The universe didn't bring you into existence just so you could barely survive, just so you could scrape by, just so you could live in constant worry and fear. You were created to thrive. You were created to experience joy, abundance, love, peace, and fulfillment. These things are your birthright. They're not reserved for special people or lucky people or people who somehow deserve them more than you do. They're available to everyone who opens themselves to receive. And here's what opening yourself to receive really means. It means letting go of the need to control exactly how and when your miracle arrives. It means releasing your grip on one specific outcome and trusting that what comes to you will be even better than what you imagined. It means surrendering your small plans to make room for the universe's much bigger, much more magnificent plans for you. So many times we block our blessings because we're so attached to having things happen in one particular way. We decide that our miracle must look like this specific job, this particular relationship, this exact amount of money, this precise solution to our problem. And we become so fixated on our limited vision that we miss the miracle that's trying to come to us in a different form, often a better form than we could have designed ourselves. Think about it. How many times have you looked back on your life and realized that not getting what you wanted turned out to be a blessing? That closed door led you to an open door that was so much better. That rejection protected you from a situation that would have been wrong for you. That delay positioned you perfectly for an opportunity that wouldn't have been available if things had happened on your timeline. The intelligence that orchestrates this entire universe knows what it's doing. It knows what you need better than you know yourself. It sees the whole picture while you can only see this one moment. It understands the ripple effects of every event, the connections between all things, the perfect timing of every occurrence. And it's working everything out for your highest good, even when you can't see how, even when it doesn't make sense to your logical mind. Your job is not to figure out how the miracle will happen. Your job is not to make the miracle happen through force and struggle and exhausting effort. Your job is to stay aligned with the miracle through your thoughts, your words, your beliefs, and your actions. Your job is to keep the faith, to maintain the vision, to hold the feeling of what you desire as if it's already yours. This is what living by faith really means. It doesn't mean sitting around doing nothing, waiting for something to fall from the sky. It means taking inspired action while trusting the process. It means doing your part while knowing that there's a much greater power doing its part too. It means planting seeds while trusting the soil, the sun, the rain, and the mystery of growth to bring forth the harvest. And here's something beautiful. The moment you truly surrender, the moment you really let go and trust, that's when things start to move. That's when the universe can finally deliver what it's been trying to give you all along. Because as long as you're gripping tightly, controlling, forcing, and struggling, you're blocking the flow. You're like someone standing with their fists clenched tight, demanding to receive, not realizing that you can't receive anything with closed hands. You have to open your hands. You have to open your heart. You have to open your mind to possibilities you haven't considered. Right now, there are miracles all around you that you're not seeing because you're looking for something else. There are blessings trying to reach you that you're not receiving because you're closed off to anything that doesn't match your predetermined idea of how things should be. But what if you opened yourself up? What if you started noticing the small miracles, the little synchronicities, the tiny signs that the universe is responding to you? When you begin to acknowledge and appreciate the small miracles, you create space for bigger ones. When you say thank you for what you already have, you signal to the universe that you're ready for more. Gratitude is like a magnet that attracts more things to be grateful for. It's the secret key that unlocks the door to abundance. So many people are waiting to be grateful. They're thinking, I'll be thankful when I get the thing I want. I'll praise God when the miracle happens. I'll celebrate when the breakthrough comes. But that's backwards. You must be grateful now, in advance, before you see any evidence. You must thank the universe for the miracle that's already on its way, even though you can't see it yet. You must celebrate the victory before the battle is won. This isn't fake positivity or pretending everything is fine when it's not. This is understanding a fundamental law of the universe. What you appreciate appreciates. What you focus on expands. What you give energy to grows. When you give energy to lack, you create more lack. When you give energy to abundance, even if it's just the abundance of air in your lungs, sunlight on your face, or love in your heart, you create more abundance. Everything is energy, and energy flows where attention goes. If you want different results in your life, you must give your attention to different things. You must stop rehearsing your problems and start envisioning your solutions. You must stop telling the story of what went wrong and start telling the story of what's going right. You must stop identifying with your past and start identifying with your future. Who you were yesterday doesn't have to be who you are today. The mistakes you made don't define you. The failures you experienced don't determine your worth. The pain you've been through doesn't dictate your future. You are not your circumstances. You are not your bank account. You are not your diagnosis. You are not your past. You are an infinite spiritual being having a temporary human experience, and within you is the same creative power that brings worlds into existence. Let that sink in for a moment. The same force that created everything you see, that maintains the orbits of planets, that grows babies from microscopic cells, that heals wounds, that springs forth forests from tiny seeds. That same force lives in you. It breathes through you, it beats your heart, it grows your hair, it digests your food. It's doing 10,000 things right now in your body that you're not even aware of, that you couldn't do consciously if you tried. And this force, this intelligence, this power, it knows your desires. It knows what you need before you ask. It understands your heart better than you understand it yourself, and it wants to give you what you want. Not because you've earned it, not because you've been perfect, not because you deserve it more than anyone else, but simply because giving is its nature. Expansion is the nature of the universe. Growth is what life does. And you, as part of this living universe, are meant to expand, grow, and receive. But here's where most people get stuck. They believe they have to earn it. They believe they have to be worthy first. They carry around this deep-seated feeling that they're not good enough, that they haven't done enough, that they're somehow flawed or broken or undeserving. And this belief becomes a wall between them and their miracles. Listen carefully. You don't have to earn love. You don't have to earn your place on this planet. You don't have to prove your worth. You were born worthy. Your worthiness was established the moment you came into being. You are a unique expression of the divine, and there will never be another you in all of eternity. You are irreplaceable. You are valuable. You are enough, exactly as you are right now. Does that mean you shouldn't grow or improve? Of course not. Growth is beautiful, evolution is natural, but you don't grow in order to become worthy. You grow because you already are worthy, and growth is the joyful expression of that worthiness. You don't change yourself because you're broken. You expand yourself because expansion is what conscious beings do. And here's the miracle within the miracle. The moment you truly accept yourself, the moment you stop fighting against who you are, the moment you embrace yourself with all your imperfections and flaws and quirks, that's when real transformation becomes possible. Because you can't heal what you're at war with. You can't improve what you hate. You can't transform through self-rejection. You can only change through self-acceptance and love. The caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly by hating itself for being a caterpillar. It becomes a butterfly by following its nature, by surrendering to the process, by trusting the transformation that's encoded in its very being, and you are the same. Everything you need to become who you're meant to be is already inside you. The blueprint is there, the potential is there, the power is there. You just need to stop resisting and allow it to unfold. Your miracle is coming not because you finally got everything right, not because you achieved perfection, not because you checked all the boxes and followed all the rules. Your miracle is coming because it's time, because you've been prepared, because the universe is ready to reveal the next chapter of your story, because God has heard every prayer, seen every tear, and felt every struggle, and the answer is already in motion. But you must receive it with an open heart. You must be willing to let it come in whatever form it takes. You must trust that what arrives is exactly what you need, even if it doesn't look like what you thought you wanted. You must have faith that every twist and turn, every seeming setback, every delay has been part of a perfect plan that's bringing you to exactly where you need to be. Stop struggling, stop forcing, stop trying to make things happen through sheer willpower and anxiety. Instead, relax into the flow of life. Trust the current. Know that you're being carried toward your highest good. Do what you can do, take the actions that feel right, follow your intuition, and then release the outcome. Let the universe handle the details. Let God work out the how and the when. Your only real job is to stay in alignment. And you stay in alignment by monitoring your thoughts and feelings. When you notice yourself spiraling into worry, gently bring yourself back to faith. When you catch yourself speaking words of lack, shift to words of abundance. When you feel fear rising up, breathe into it and choose peace. When doubt whispers that it's taking too long, remind yourself that perfect timing is at work. This is a practice, not a one-time achievement. You don't just decide to have faith once and then you're done. You choose faith again and again, moment by moment, thought by thought, word by word. You practice trusting when your circumstances say you shouldn't. You practice believing when the evidence isn't there yet. You practice staying positive when everything looks negative. This is how you build your spiritual muscles. This is how you become a master of your inner world. And when you master your inner world, your outer world must change. It's law, it's physics, it's the way reality works. The external is always a reflection of the internal. What you hold in consciousness must manifest in form. What you believe becomes your experience. What you expect is what you get. So what are you expecting? Are you expecting struggle and hardship and disappointment, or are you expecting miracles and blessings and breakthroughs? Are you looking for evidence of what's wrong, or are you looking for evidence of what's working? Are you focusing on the problem, or are you focusing on the solution? Your attention is creative. Where you place it matters enormously. If you focus on sickness, you create more sickness in your experience. If you focus on health, you activate healing in your body. If you focus on debt, you perpetuate financial struggle. If you focus on prosperity, you open the channels for abundance to flow. If you focus on what you don't have, you create more absence. If you focus on what you do have, even if it's little, you create more presence, more fullness, more plenty. This isn't about denying reality or pretending problems don't exist. It's about choosing which reality you're going to energize. Yes, there might be a problem, but there's also a solution. Yes, there might be a challenge, but there's also an opportunity. Yes, there might be darkness, but there's also light. What you focus on grows. Choose wisely. And understand this. The miracle that's coming to you might not solve every problem in your life. It might not make everything perfect. But it will be exactly what you need for this moment, for this stage of your development, for this chapter of your story. It will be the key that unlocks the next door. It will be the answer that leads to the next question. It will be the blessing that prepares you for the next level. Life is not about reaching some final destination where everything is perfect and you never have challenges again. Life is about growth, evolution, expansion, and becoming more of who you truly are. Every challenge is an invitation to grow. Every problem is an opportunity to develop new strengths. Every difficulty is a chance to deepen your faith and trust. So don't wish for a life without challenges. That would be a life without growth. Instead, wish for the strength to meet every challenge. Pray for the wisdom to see the opportunity in every obstacle. Ask for the faith to trust that everything is working out for your highest good, even when you can't see how. And know this, with every fiber of your being, you are not alone. You have never been alone. Even in your darkest moments, even when you felt completely isolated and forgotten, there was a presence with you. The universe was holding you, God was carrying you, angels were surrounding you, and all of creation was conspiring on your behalf, arranging the miracle that's about to unfold. This miracle might come suddenly, like a lightning bolt that illuminates everything in an instant. Or it might come gradually, like the dawn that slowly brightens the sky until you realize the darkness has completely lifted. It might be loud and obvious, or it might be quiet and subtle. It might be exactly what you prayed for, or it might be something you never thought to ask for, but that turns out to be exactly what you needed. However it comes, whenever it comes, be ready to receive it. Keep your heart open. Keep your mind flexible. Keep your spirit expectant. Live in a state of readiness, of anticipation, of joyful expectation. Know that good things are coming. Know that blessings are on the way. Know that your breakthrough is closer than you think. And while you're waiting, while you're in this in-between space where you've asked but haven't received yet, where you've planted but haven't harvested yet, where you've knocked but the door hasn't opened yet, don't waste this precious time. Use it to become who you need to be. Use it to heal old wounds. Use it to release old patterns. Use it to forgive old hurts. Use it to clear out the clutter in your mind, your heart, and your life. Make space for the miracle. If you want new things to come into your life, you often have to let go of old things. If you want new relationships, you might need to release toxic connections. If you want abundance, you might need to clear out the hoarding mentality that comes from scarcity thinking. If you want peace, you might need to let go of the need to control everything. Letting go is not giving up. Letting go is making room. It's creating a vacuum that the universe will rush to fill with something better. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you create empty space in your life, it will be filled. The question is, what will fill it? If you let go with bitterness and resentment, you'll attract more of the same. But if you let go with gratitude and trust, you'll attract blessings beyond your imagination. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools for clearing space. When you hold on to unforgiveness, you're tying up enormous amounts of energy. You're carrying a weight that exhausts you and blocks your good. But when you forgive, you set yourself free. You release that energy to be used for creating the life you want. You open yourself to receive the love and abundance that's trying to reach you. Forgiveness doesn't mean what happened was okay. It doesn't mean you condone the behavior or that there shouldn't be consequences. It means you're no longer willing to let the past poison your present and your future. It means you're choosing your peace over your pain. It means you're trusting that the universe will handle justice while you focus on joy. And don't forget to forgive yourself. So many people are carrying crushing guilt and shame about their past mistakes. They're punishing themselves endlessly for things that happened years ago, things they would have forgiven anyone else for long ago. But they hold themselves to impossible standards, and they refuse to let themselves off the hook. If this is you, it's time to let it go. You did the best you could with the awareness you had at the time. You've learned from your mistakes. You've grown. You're not the same person you were back then. And continuing to punish yourself serves no good purpose. It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't make the world better. It just keeps you stuck in a prison of your own making. Set yourself free. Forgive yourself completely. Accept yourself fully. Love yourself unconditionally. This isn't selfish or narcissistic. This is necessary. Because you cannot give what you don't have. You cannot love others well if you don't love yourself. You cannot treat others with compassion if you treat yourself with cruelty. You cannot be a channel for blessings if you're blocked up with self-hatred. The miracle that's coming to you needs a clear channel to flow through. It needs a willing receiver. It needs someone who believes they deserve good things, someone who can accept blessings without guilt, someone who can hold abundance without sabotaging it. So, do the inner work. Clean out the mental and emotional closets. Release the old stories that no longer serve you. Let go of the limiting beliefs that keep you small. Dissolve the fears that hold you back. And as you do this work, as you clear away the debris, you'll feel lighter. You'll feel freer. You'll feel more like yourself, your true self, the unlimited being that you really are. And from this place of clarity and alignment, you'll begin to notice things shifting. Opportunities will appear that weren't there before. People will show up at exactly the right time with exactly what you need. Doors will open that were previously locked. Solutions will present themselves to problems that seemed unsolvable. Synchronicities will multiply until you can't help but notice that something bigger is at work. These are the signs. These are the signals that your miracle is near. Don't dismiss them as coincidences. Don't rationalize them away. Acknowledge them. Appreciate them. Thank the universe for the confirmation. And keep moving forward with confidence, knowing that you're on the right path, that you're being guided, that you're being supported. The universe is always speaking to you, always sending messages, always guiding you toward your highest good. But you have to be paying attention. You have to be present. You have to be open to receiving communication in forms you might not expect. Maybe it comes through a song on the radio that has the exact message you need to hear. Maybe it comes through a conversation with a stranger who says something that strikes your heart. Maybe it comes through a book that falls off the shelf, a number pattern you keep seeing, or a feeling in your gut that won't go away. Trust your intuition. It's the voice of your higher self, the part of you that's connected to infinite intelligence. When something feels right, even if it doesn't make logical sense, trust it. When you get a sudden urge to call someone or go somewhere or try something new, follow it. These impulses are often the universe's way of positioning you for your miracle. But also be patient with the process. Don't expect everything to happen overnight. The greatest things in life usually require time to develop. A baby takes 9 months to grow. A tree takes years to mature. A diamond takes millions of years to form. Your miracle is being crafted with care, shaped with precision, timed with perfect accuracy. Trust the timing even when it frustrates you. Trust the process even when you don't understand it. Trust the universe even when circumstances seem to contradict what you believe. This is what faith is. Not believing when you have proof, but believing before you have proof. Not trusting when everything is going well, but trusting especially when everything seems to be falling apart. Sometimes things have to fall apart so they can come back together in a better way. Sometimes what looks like an ending is really a beginning. Sometimes what feels like failure is actually redirection towards something better. Sometimes the worst thing that ever happened to you becomes the best thing that ever happened to you when you look back on it later. So don't judge your current circumstances too harshly. Don't assume that because things are difficult right now, they'll always be difficult. Don't believe that because you can't see the solution, there isn't one. The darkest hour is just before dawn. The greatest breakthroughs often come right after the moments when you want to give up. Keep going. Keep believing. Keep trusting. Keep showing up. Keep doing your part. Keep holding the vision. Keep speaking words of faith. Keep acting as if your miracle is already on the way. Because it is. It absolutely is. Even if you can't see it yet, even if there's no evidence yet, even if everyone around you says it's impossible, your miracle is in motion. God knows your heart's desires, and God is faithful. The universe is abundant, and the universe provides. Your higher self is guiding you, and your path is unfolding exactly as it should. Everything is happening for you, not to you. Everything is working together for your good. Everything is bringing you closer to the life you're meant to live. And when your miracle arrives, when that sudden breakthrough happens, when the thing you've been waiting for finally manifests, you'll look back on this time of waiting and you'll understand why it took as long as it did. You'll see how every delay was actually divine timing. You'll recognize how every disappointment was actually protection. You'll realize how every no was leading you to a better yes. You'll see that you weren't being forgotten or punished or tested beyond your limits. You were being prepared, refined, strengthened, and positioned for something greater than you imagined. You were being transformed into the person who could receive and handle the blessing that was always meant for you. So hold on, stay strong, keep the faith. Your miracle is coming. It's closer than you think. It's bigger than you imagine. It's better than you can conceive. And when it arrives, you'll know without a doubt that you were never alone, never forgotten, never abandoned. You'll know that every prayer was heard, every tear was seen, every struggle was witnessed, and every moment of faith was building toward this manifestation. The wait is almost over. The breakthrough is near. The miracle is at hand. Get ready to receive it with gratitude, with joy, with open arms and an open heart. Get ready for your life to change in beautiful ways. Get ready to step into the abundance, the love, the peace, the healing, the success that has always been your birthright. Your time is coming. Actually, your time is now. The miracle is already in motion. The universe is already responding. God is already moving. And nothing can stop what's meant for you. Absolutely nothing. So rest in that knowing. Relax in that certainty. Rejoice in that truth. Your miracle is on the way, and it's going to be more wonderful than you ever dreamed possible.
You know, right now, at this very moment, there's something working in your favor that you can't even see. There's a force, an intelligence, a divine presence that knows you better than you know yourself. And this presence has plans for you that are so much bigger, so much grander, so much more magnificent than anything your limited human mind could ever conceive. You see, we spend so much of our lives trying to control everything, trying to figure it all out, trying to make things happen according to our timeline, according to our plan. But what if I told you that your plan is just a tiny fraction of what's actually possible for you? Think about it for a moment. When you were 5 years old, could you have planned the life you're living right now? Could you have predicted the people you'd meet, the experiences you'd have, the lessons you'd learn? Of course not. And yet here you are. You made it through every single difficult day of your life so far. You survived every heartbreak, every disappointment, every moment when you thought you couldn't go on. Something brought you through all of that. Something guided you, even when you felt completely lost. That something is the divine intelligence of the universe. Some call it God, some call it Source, some call it the Tao, some call it Universal Mind. The name doesn't matter. What matters is that this intelligence is real, it's present, and it's always working on your behalf. Always. Even when things seem to be falling apart, they're actually falling into place. Even when doors are closing, better doors are opening. Even when you're experiencing what you think is a setback, you're actually being set up for something better. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You might be saying, but you don't understand my situation. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know how bad things are. And you're right. I don't know your specific circumstances, but I do know this. Whatever you're facing right now is not the end of your story. It's not even close. It's just a chapter. It's just a moment in time. And this moment, difficult as it may be, is preparing you for something greater. You see, we have this tendency to attach ourselves to outcomes. We say, I need this job, or I need this relationship, or I need this amount of money by this date. And when things don't work out the way we planned, we fall apart. We think the universe has abandoned us. We think we've failed. We think life is unfair. But what if that job wasn't right for you? What if that relationship was actually blocking you from meeting the person you're truly meant to be with? What if that financial situation you're in is teaching you something essential that you need to learn before you can handle the abundance that's coming your way? The truth is you don't know what you don't know. Your perspective is limited. Your vision is clouded by your fears, your past experiences, your conditioning, your beliefs about what's possible. But the divine mind that created you, that breathed life into you, that set your heart beating and your lungs breathing without you ever having to think about it, this mind knows everything. It sees the whole picture. It knows every person you need to meet, every experience you need to have, every lesson you need to learn, and it's orchestrating all of it perfectly. Let me tell you something that might change your life if you really hear it. You are not here by accident. You didn't just randomly show up on this planet. You were called here. You were chosen. You have a purpose that only you can fulfill. There are people who need to hear what you have to say, who need to receive what you have to give, who need to be touched by your unique presence. But you can't fulfill that purpose if you're constantly trying to force your own limited plans on the universe. Think about the caterpillar. When it goes into that cocoon, does it know it's going to become a butterfly? Does it understand the transformation that's about to take place? No. From the caterpillar's perspective, it's probably terrifying. Everything it knew is breaking down. Its entire world is dissolving. If that caterpillar could think like we do, it would probably be panicking, thinking, this is the end. Everything is falling apart. But we know better, don't we? We know that the caterpillar isn't dying. It's transforming. It's becoming something far more beautiful, far more free, far more magnificent than it could have ever been as a caterpillar. That's what's happening in your life right now. When things break down, when your plans fall apart, when everything you thought was solid turns to dust, you're not ending. You're transforming. You're being prepared for flight. But you have to trust the process. You have to have faith that there's a bigger plan at work. Now, faith isn't about being naive or passive. It's not about sitting back and doing nothing while you wait for miracles to fall from the sky. Faith is about taking inspired action while trusting that you're being guided. It's about doing your part while knowing that the universe is doing its part. It's about planting seeds and then trusting that the right conditions will come together to make those seeds grow. You don't worry about the seed you plant in the ground, do you? You don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You trust. You trust that the soil has nutrients. You trust that the rain will come. You trust that the sun will shine. You trust that the invisible process of growth is happening beneath the surface, even though you can't see it. That's the kind of trust you need to have in your own life. When you align yourself with this divine intelligence, when you say, okay, I'm going to do my best, I'm going to show up fully, I'm going to give my all, but I'm also going to trust that there's a bigger plan. Something miraculous happens. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. Opportunities come that you never could have created on your own. People show up at exactly the right moment with exactly what you need. Coincidences happen so frequently that you realize they're not coincidences at all. They're the universe responding to your faith. But here's the key. You have to get out of your own way. You have to stop trying to control every little detail. You have to stop forcing things to happen according to your timeline. You have to stop micromanaging the universe. Because when you're constantly pushing, striving, forcing, controlling, you're actually blocking the flow. You're like someone standing in a river trying to push the water in the direction they think it should go, not realizing that if they would just relax and float, the river would carry them exactly where they need to be. This doesn't mean you don't have goals. This doesn't mean you don't take action. This doesn't mean you don't work hard. Of course you do all of those things. But you do them from a place of inspiration rather than desperation. You do them from a place of trust rather than fear. You do them knowing that your job is to show up and give your best, but the results are up to something much bigger than you. Think about the greatest accomplishments in your life so far. Think about the times when things worked out better than you could have planned. Think about the lucky breaks, the chance meetings, the unexpected opportunities. Were those really just random? Or was there something guiding you, orchestrating events, bringing the right people and circumstances together? When you look back honestly, you'll see that there's been a pattern of grace in your life all along. You've been guided even when you didn't realize it. You've been protected even when you felt vulnerable. You've been loved even when you felt alone. And that same force that's been with you all along is still with you now. It hasn't abandoned you. It hasn't forgotten about you. It's working behind the scenes, arranging things, preparing the way, setting up circumstances that will blow your mind when they finally come together. But you have to be patient. You have to trust the timing. You have to understand that delays are not denials. Sometimes the universe says not yet because you're not ready yet. Sometimes the universe says not that because it has something better in mind. Sometimes the universe says not there because it's directing you to a better place. And sometimes the universe says wait because the timing isn't right, because other pieces need to fall into place first, because you need to grow a little more, learn a little more, become a little more before you're ready to receive what's coming. When you truly understand this, when you really get it at a level that's not just intellectual but experiential, everything changes. Your anxiety decreases because you're not trying to control the uncontrollable anymore. Your peace increases because you know you're being taken care of. Your joy expands because you start to see the beauty in the process rather than just focusing on the outcome. You start to notice the miracles that are happening every single day. You start to appreciate the gift of your breath, the gift of your life, the gift of another day to be here on this beautiful planet. You start to see that you're surrounded by abundance, not scarcity. You start to realize that you're supported, not alone. You start to understand that you're loved beyond measure by the very force that created you. And when you live from this place of trust, when you live from this place of alignment with the divine plan, you become a magnet for good things. You become a channel for miracles. You become an instrument of the divine will, not because you're special or chosen in a way that others aren't, but because you've removed the blocks that were keeping you separate from the flow of grace that's available to everyone. You see, most people live their entire lives in resistance. They resist what is. They resist change. They resist the natural flow of life. They think they know better than the universe how things should unfold. And all that resistance creates struggle, creates suffering, creates a sense of being stuck. But when you surrender, when you let go, when you say, I trust that there's a better plan than my plan, you open yourself up to receive in ways you never could before. Now, surrender doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean becoming passive or fatalistic. It doesn't mean you don't have preferences or desires. Surrender means letting go of your attachment to how things should be and accepting what is, knowing that what is actually perfect for your growth right now. Surrender means doing your best and then releasing the results. Surrender means trusting that you're exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn, experiencing exactly what you need to experience. When you live this way, something beautiful happens. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstances. You stop feeling like life is happening to you. You start to understand that life is happening for you. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every closed door is redirecting you to an open one. Every disappointment is protecting you from something that wasn't right for you anyway. Think about the times in your life when something you wanted desperately didn't work out. Think about the job you didn't get, the relationship that ended, the opportunity that fell through. At the time, it probably felt terrible. You probably thought it was the worst thing that could happen. But now, looking back, can you see how it all worked out? Can you see how you were actually being redirected towards something better? Can you see how that disappointment was actually divine protection? That's what's happening in your life right now. Even if you can't see it yet, even if you're in the middle of the struggle, even if you're in the darkness, even if you feel lost and confused, there's a plan unfolding. There's a purpose to what you're going through. You're not being punished. You're not being tested. You're being prepared. You're being refined. You're being shaped into the person you need to become to fulfill your highest purpose. And your highest purpose is so much bigger than you think it is. It's not just about making money, although abundance is your birthright. It's not just about being happy, although joy is your natural state. It's not just about being successful, although you're meant to thrive. Your highest purpose is about being a vessel for the divine to express itself through you. It's about letting the love, the wisdom, the creativity, the power that created you flow through you and touch the world. But you can't be that vessel if you're all clogged up with fear, doubt, worry, and control. You can't be that channel if you're constantly second-guessing, constantly questioning, constantly trying to manipulate outcomes. You have to clear yourself out. You have to create space. You have to get quiet enough to hear the whispers of divine guidance that are always available to you. How do you do that? You start by changing your thoughts. You start by recognizing that your thoughts are not facts. Your thoughts are just mental habits, most of which you inherited from other people. Your thoughts about what's possible, what you deserve, what you can have, what you can do, most of those thoughts aren't even yours. They're just programs running in your mind that you've never questioned. But you can change those programs. You can choose new thoughts. You can decide to think in alignment with the truth of who you really are rather than the lies you've been told. And the truth is that you are an infinite spiritual being having a temporary human experience. The truth is that you are connected to the source of all creation. The truth is that the same power that grows the flowers, that moves the planets, that sustains the entire universe is flowing through you right now. When you align your thoughts with that truth, everything shifts. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, you think, I am an expression of the divine and I am more than enough. Instead of thinking, I don't have enough, you think the universe is infinitely abundant and I am open to receiving. Instead of thinking things never work out for me, you think everything is always working out for my highest good. These aren't just positive affirmations. These are statements of truth. These are recognitions of the reality that exists beyond your conditioned mind. And when you train yourself to think in alignment with this higher truth, your entire experience of life changes. Not because life changes, but because you change. Not because the circumstances shift, but because your perception shifts. And when your perception shifts, you start to see opportunities where you used to see obstacles. You start to see possibilities where you used to see limitations. You start to see grace where you used to see randomness. You start to see the hand of the divine in everything, orchestrating, guiding, supporting, loving you through every moment of your life. This is what it means to live in alignment with the divine plan. It means waking up every day and saying, I don't know what today will bring, but I trust that whatever happens is exactly what needs to happen. I trust that I'm being guided. I trust that I'm being supported. I trust that there's a plan that's better than any plan I could come up with on my own. And then you show up. You do your work. You love the people in your life. You take care of your responsibilities. You pursue your goals and dreams, but you do all of it with a light touch. You do all of it without grasping. You do all of it knowing that the real power is not in your effort, but in your alignment. The real magic is not in what you do, but in who you're being. And when you're being someone who trusts, someone who has faith, someone who knows they're part of something bigger, that's when miracles start to happen. You know, there's a story about a man who was caught in a flood. The water was rising, and he climbed up on his roof. A rescue boat came by, and the people in the boat said, "Get in, we'll save you." But the man said, "No, I'm waiting for God to save me." The water kept rising. A helicopter came and dropped a ladder. The pilot said, "Grab the ladder, we'll pull you up." But the man said, "No, I'm waiting for God to save me." Eventually the man drowned. When he got to heaven, he said to God, why didn't you save me? I had faith in you." And God said, "I sent you a boat and a helicopter. What more did you want?" This story illustrates something important. The divine plan doesn't always look the way you expect it to look. Help doesn't always come in the form you think it should come in. Opportunities don't always present themselves in obvious ways. Sometimes the answer to your prayer is disguised as a challenge. Sometimes the help you need comes through a difficult person or a frustrating situation. Sometimes the door you need to walk through looks scary or uncertain or not quite right. That's why you need discernment. That's why you need to stay awake and aware. That's why you need to pay attention to the signs and signals that are all around you. The universe is always communicating with you. It's speaking through coincidences, through patterns, through the people you meet, through the books that fall into your hands, through the songs you hear, through the feelings in your body, through the whispers in your heart. But you have to be present to receive these messages. You have to be conscious and aware. You can't be so caught up in your worries, your fears, your endless mental chatter that you miss the guidance that's being offered. You have to create moments of stillness in your day. You have to take time to get quiet, to breathe, to listen to the wisdom that's always available to you when you tune in. This is not some mystical, complicated practice. It's simple. It's natural. It's your birthright. All you have to do is stop, be still, and pay attention. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a few deep breaths. Feel the life force moving through your body. Notice the thoughts that arise without getting caught up in them. And in that space between your thoughts, you'll find clarity, you'll find peace, you'll find guidance, you'll find the knowing that comes from a place deeper than your thinking mind. And that knowing will guide you better than any plan you could make. That knowing will lead you to places you never would have thought to go. That knowing will introduce you to people you never would have met. That knowing will open doors you never knew existed. Because that knowing is connected to the infinite intelligence of the universe, and that intelligence has a much better perspective than your limited human mind. So the question is not whether there's a better plan for you than the one you have for yourself. The question is, are you willing to trust it? Are you willing to let go of your need to control everything? Are you willing to surrender your limited vision for a vision that's unlimited? Are you willing to say yes to the adventure of not knowing exactly how things will unfold, but trusting that they'll unfold perfectly? This is the invitation that's being extended to you right now in this moment, not later, not when you get your life together, not when you figure everything out, right now. Because right now is all you ever have. This present moment is where life is happening. This present moment is where the divine plan is unfolding. This present moment is where you have the power to choose faith over fear, trust over worry, surrender over control. And when you make that choice, everything begins to shift. Not necessarily in your outer circumstances right away, although often that happens too, but definitely in your inner experience. You feel lighter, you feel freer, you feel more peaceful, you feel connected to something larger than yourself. You feel held, supported, loved by a force that will never leave you, that will never abandon you, that will never give up on you, no matter how many times you give up on yourself. Because that force is not separate from you. It's not some old man in the sky judging you, keeping score, waiting for you to mess up. That force is the very essence of who you are. It's the life breathing you right now. It's the intelligence that's causing your cells to regenerate, your food to digest, your wounds to heal. It's the love that exists at the core of your being, whether you're aware of it or not. And that love has a plan for you. Not a plan that requires you to be perfect. Not a plan that requires you to have it all figured out. Not a plan that requires you to never make mistakes or never struggle or never doubt. A plan that includes all of that, that uses all of that, that transforms all of that into something beautiful. A plan that takes your wounds and turns them into wisdom. A plan that takes your pain and turns it into purpose. A plan that takes your struggles and turns them into strength. You don't have to earn this plan. You don't have to qualify for it. You don't have to prove you're worthy of it. You're already worthy. You were worthy the moment you were born. You were worthy before you were born. Your worthiness is not based on what you do or what you achieve or what you accumulate. Your worthiness is inherent in the fact that you exist. The universe doesn't make mistakes. You are here because you're meant to be here. You have value because you're alive. And the divine plan for your life honors that value. It sees your potential even when you can't see it yourself. It knows what you're capable of even when you doubt yourself. It believes in you even when you don't believe in yourself. And it's constantly arranging circumstances, providing opportunities, opening doors, sending helpers, creating synchronicities to guide you toward the fulfillment of your highest potential. But you have to be willing to walk through those doors when they open. You have to be willing to take the opportunities when they present themselves. You have to be willing to follow the guidance even when it doesn't make logical sense. You have to be willing to trust that the universe knows what it's doing even when you don't. And that takes courage. It takes courage to let go of control. It takes courage to trust when you can't see the whole picture. It takes courage to keep faith when everything around you is falling apart. It takes courage to believe in a better future when your present circumstances are difficult. But that courage is available to you. It's inside you right now. It's part of your divine nature. You've demonstrated courage so many times already in your life. Every time you got back up after being knocked down. Every time you kept going when you wanted to quit. Every time you loved again after being hurt. Every time you tried again after failing. That was courage. And that same courage that brought you this far will take you where you need to go. But you have to activate it. You have to call on it. You have to recognize that fear is just a feeling, not a fact. Fear is just your ego trying to keep you safe by keeping you small. Fear is just your conditioning trying to protect you by keeping you in your comfort zone. But your comfort zone is a prison if you stay in it too long. Growth requires discomfort. Evolution requires uncertainty. Transformation requires letting go of what's familiar and stepping into what's unknown. And that's exactly what the divine plan asks of you. It asks you to step out of your small, limited, fearful sense of self and into your true, expansive, powerful nature. It asks you to stop playing small and start playing big. It asks you to stop hiding your light and start letting it shine. It asks you to stop doubting your worth and start claiming your birthright. Your birthright is abundance, not scarcity. Your birthright is joy, not suffering. Your birthright is peace, not anxiety. Your birthright is love, not fear. Your birthright is freedom, not limitation. And the divine plan is constantly trying to give you your birthright, but you keep refusing it because you don't think you deserve it. You don't think you're ready for it. You don't think it's possible for you. But it is possible. It's not only possible, it's inevitable if you align yourself with the flow of divine will. Because divine will is not opposed to your happiness. Divine will is not opposed to your success. Divine will is not opposed to your fulfillment. Divine will wants you to thrive because you're an expression of the divine, and the divine wants to express itself fully through you. Think about it. Does an apple tree struggle to produce apples? Does it worry about whether it's good enough to bear fruit? Does it doubt its ability to fulfill its purpose? No. It just naturally, effortlessly produces apples because that's its nature. And it's your nature to produce the fruits of your unique gifts and talents. It's your nature to express creativity, love, wisdom, joy, abundance. You don't have to force it. You don't have to struggle for it. You just have to allow it. Allowing is the key. Allowing means getting out of your own way. Allowing means releasing resistance. Allowing means saying yes to life instead of no. Allowing means opening your hands instead of clenching your fists. Allowing means relaxing into the flow instead of fighting against the current. And when you allow, when you truly allow, the divine plan unfolds through you in ways that will astonish you. Things happen that you could never have made happen through your own effort. Doors open that you could never have opened on your own. People show up who change the entire trajectory of your life. Opportunities arise that are perfectly suited to your unique gifts and purpose. This is not fantasy. This is not wishful thinking. This is the natural result of aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. This is what happens when you stop resisting and start allowing. This is what happens when you stop fighting and start flowing. This is what happens when you stop trying to impose your will on life and start cooperating with the divine will. And the beautiful thing is, it's never too late to start. It doesn't matter how old you are, how many mistakes you've made, how far off track you think you've gotten. This moment right now is a fresh start. This moment is a new beginning. This moment is an opportunity to choose differently, to think differently, to be differently. You can let go of the past right now. You can release the regrets, the resentments, the what-ifs and should-haves. None of that matters anymore. All that matters is now. All that matters is this breath. All that matters is the choice you're making in this moment to either trust the divine plan or continue trying to force your own plan. And if you choose trust, if you choose faith, if you choose surrender, then you're opening yourself to miracles. You're opening yourself to grace. You're opening yourself to possibilities that don't exist in the limited world of your ego, but do exist in the unlimited realm of spirit. Because spirit sees what ego cannot see. Spirit knows what ego cannot know. Spirit can do what ego cannot do. And when you align yourself with spirit, when you say, not my will, but thy will, when you truly surrender to the divine plan, you become an instrument of miracles. You become a conduit for grace. You become a living example of what's possible when a human being trusts the divine intelligence that created them. So trust. Trust even when you don't understand. Trust even when you can't see the way forward. Trust even when everything looks like it's going wrong, because it's not going wrong. It's going exactly as it needs to go for your highest good and the highest good of all. The divine plan is always a plan of love, always. Even when it doesn't feel like it, even when it looks like chaos or confusion or crisis. Even then, love is at work. Love is orchestrating. Love is guiding. Love is preparing you for something greater than you can currently conceive. And that's the beautiful mystery of it all. You don't have to know what comes next. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to trust that the one who made you, the one who knows you completely, the one who loves you unconditionally, has a plan that's better than any plan you could ever make for yourself. And when you really get that, when you really trust that, when you really live that, your whole life becomes an adventure of grace, a journey of miracles, an unfolding of divine perfection. So let go, surrender, trust. And watch what happens when you stop trying to control everything and start allowing the divine intelligence to guide you. Watch how doors open. Watch how opportunities appear. Watch how people show up. Watch how circumstances align. Watch how your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Because that's what happens when you align with the divine plan. That's what happens when you trust that God has a better plan for you than you have for yourself. That's what happens when you stop trying to row your own boat and start letting the current of divine will carry you to shores you never even knew existed. This is your invitation. This is your opportunity. This is your moment to choose faith over fear, trust over control, surrender over struggle. The divine plan is waiting. The divine plan is ready. The divine plan is perfect. All you have to do is say yes.